Hello everyone, this is Jonathan from Resale World Technical Support, and this is a video on how to use the QuickBooks Link to export to QuickBooks Desktop. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up the QuickBooks Link located at the top right hand corner of the Liberty React software. If this is your first time using the software, it may ask you for the QuickBooks Link serial number. If you don't have this, go ahead and contact Resale World and we'll help you out. The next thing we need to do is we need to link our QuickBooks company file to the QuickBooks Link. If you don't have a company file yet, you'll need to create one through QuickBooks. So what I'm going to do is I'll click on File and then Settings. Now we're going to point QuickBooks to our company file. Under the General tab, we'll click the Browse button located at the right here. And under normal circumstances, this will be the path to the company file. So it's C Users Public Documents into it, QuickBooks Company Files. And that's the default path. So I'll go ahead and open up the State of Mind Consigned QuickBooks Company File. That's mine. And then we've pointed our QuickBooks Link to our company file. A couple of other settings that we can set here. Obviously, this is a desktop version. Another video will go over how to link to QuickBooks Online. Your class name will set all your transactions to use a class of Liberty, but you can change it here. Under the Advanced tab, there are a few accounts that Liberty will create for you, and if you try to change them in QuickBooks, Liberty will just try to recreate the accounts using the names here. So if you would like to change any of the accounts here, you can. By default, consignment payable, non-payable, item fee, and web surcharge are the accounts that Liberty will create. There's also an option to separate consignors as vendors. This is specifically for the vendor center. Our recommendation is to have this unchecked, as it's purely cosmetic. You can pull all the obligation and all the accounts that you need directly from Liberty. I'll go ahead and click OK on this. Now we have to open up QuickBooks and make sure that the company file is set up correctly. So I'll minimize our QuickBooks Link and Liberty, and I'm going to open up QuickBooks. Mine immediately opened up the QuickBooks company file. In some cases, you'll have to select your company file if you have more than one company file. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Edit and then Preferences. Now I'll click on Accounting and then Company Preferences. We need to make sure that Use Account Numbers, Require Accounts, and Use Class Tracking for Transactions are checkmarked. You also want to uncheck Prompt to Assign Classes, and we'll click OK. It is important that your company file is protected by a password. If your company file does not have a password, Liberty will not be able to sync to it. We're going to continue this video as if you have not entered your password and show you a quick way to input a new password on your company file. All we have to do is close out of the QuickBooks program. Then we simply reopen the QuickBooks program. We're going to select our company file from the list. And if we don't have a password, it's going to ask us to create one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Once I enter in my new password, I'm going to click the Confirm button. It'll say our QuickBooks password has been changed. I'll click OK. Now it's going to open up the company file for us so that we see our usual account info. Now, we don't want to close out QuickBooks just yet. We have to give the QuickBooks Link permission to sync to our company file. So that's what we're going to do for our very first sync. I'm going to open up the QuickBooks Link that's already opened at the bottom. Notice how the Export button is grayed out. This is because there may be multiple accounts that are not ready to be synced over, and we have to fix the QuickBooks mapping. These accounts will show up as red. So I'm going to scroll down until I see any red accounts, and then we notice, yes, we have 4 red accounts here. You'll notice that the GL account and the GL account type are not set for these accounts. By default, even if we set the GL account and the GL account type here, the first thing the QuickBooks Link is going to do is it's going to check in your QuickBooks company file if the accounts already exist. And that's when you hit the export button. It just takes care of it for you. If the account does not already exist in QuickBooks, it's going to create it for you. This is why we recommend having your CPA or your accountant look over this mapping and just make sure that the QuickBooks Link is sending over the information exactly where they want it to go. So right now I'm going to click on this VIP event here. This is a custom entry that's been added into the POS for our coupon. And I'm just going to type out VIP event because that's the name of the coupon. Our GL account type can be whatever you want to specify it as. Right now I'm going to set this to expense. Now keep in mind, if you already have the account created in QuickBooks within your company file, the GL account type will be ignored. It's just going to use whatever you have set in your company file. This option for GL account type is only if our software has to create the account for you. I'm going to go ahead and fill out the rest of this stuff as well. So this is Spring Fling Savings. And then I'll fast forward through this part and fill out the rest of the options. Okay, now notice that the export button is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and click the export button. The very first time you sync, you're going to be allowed to select the first date you'd like to export from. So you can start this off when your store actually opened, or you can start it off at the beginning of the year. Basically, anytime you want to start it, it'll sync from that point onwards. Just keep in mind, if you start at the beginning of the year, it's going to assume that you have your starting totals already in QuickBooks for each of the GL accounts. So right now I'm going to set this to January 1st, because that's the beginning of this year, and I'm going to click OK. It'll ask you to confirm that that's the correct date you'd like to sync from. I'm going to click yes. So now it's going to open up your company file on the back end, and you'll notice that your QuickBooks icon will start to blink at the bottom. So we're going to click this. This is where we give the QuickBooks Link permission to access your company file. So the default for most stores is going to be yes, always allow access even if QuickBooks is not running. So I'm going to check mark that. Then you'll get another prompt that says, are you sure you want to do this? We'll click yes. I'm going to click continue, and then you'll have one more prompt for allowing this type of access. I'll click yes on that. And then we click done. So now the QuickBooks Link is going to start syncing over our information. It starts by checking if the accounts are already in your QuickBooks company file, and if not, it'll create the accounts for you. Yeah, so right now we have a lot of accounts that it's trying to create because it's not already there. If we open up the QuickBooks program and we go to List Chart of Accounts, you'll see it actually performing its work. It'll actually add those accounts case by case. So I'm going to go back to the QuickBooks link, and it says the sync has already been completed successfully, and that's the end of the sync. So I'll click OK on this. At the bottom, we'll get a synopsis of what actually took place. If there was more than one account that was touched, or more than one accounting piece of information that made it over to QuickBooks, it'll give you a little summary at the bottom. Now, it's important to note that when we pick up where it left off, say tomorrow or a week from now, it will never duplicate any of the accounting information into your QuickBooks company file. This was a video on how to use the QuickBooks link to export to QuickBooks Desktop.